What is up, everybody? It's Wick here, and I've been getting a lot of questions asking if I can show how I get ready for an FBA shipment, how I send product into Amazon. So I'm going to go over my process, and my process is basically, for me, there's multiple ways you can do it. So I'm going to show you how I do it. So if you haven't sent in a shipment yet, you can build a little bit of confidence in knowing what you're getting yourself into. So here is basically what I do. I have two totes here, and as I'm outsourcing and through the weeks or however long it takes, I fill these up with product that I'm going to ship in. Once they get about full, I get about 50 items, then I start considering a shipment. Now I have other stuff like seasonal things over on the shelves that I will also add to this. I don't send every single thing into Amazon because there's storage fees. Some things take longer to sell. Some things are seasonal. So I always have things stored that I also add to the shipment. But this is the new stuff that I've recently got and I need to ship in. So basically what you're going to do is grab an item. You're going to go to your Amazon seller app. If you don't have an Amazon seller app, you absolutely have to have one to sell on Amazon. So you can sign up for free and get the Amazon seller app, and you can do FBA that way. So you just go to add product, you scan the UPC, and you'll see the information there to fill in. So you bring up your Amazon seller app and you go to add a product right here, and then you just hit the little camera up here in the right hand corner. You just scan the UPC. It'll bring up products that match the UPC. You can see you got two different ones here. One's a pack of 6, so you really got to pay attention to which one's going to match. You got sales rank and other various information, reviews. So you tap that one. Then you can see Amazon's in there for $19.99. There's no FBA offers, and there's merchants in at $19.99. So basically, you're going to want to come in and price this. Probably what I would do is price it at $19.98. That way you're 1 cent under Amazon and you get a sell a bit quicker. You can see your fees with FBA and your gross proceeds. So you just have to subtract what your buy cost is and you can get your profit estimated there. And again, the rank up here, there's all kinds of information about rank. You just have to basically get out there in the field and learn about rank through experience. But so what you do now is just, you see down here at the bottom, list, and then you select condition. It is new. I got the lowest price. We're just going to change that to $19.98 here, or whatever you want to price it at. You can check to see if Amazon's low in stock. Maybe you want to price it higher. Then down here it says, I want Amazon to ship and provide customer service for my items that they sell. If you're doing FBA, then this is what you want to have checked, and you just hit continue, and then there'll be submit your listing. And you just submit the listing, and there you have it. You return home. I don't want to rate, and then you just go through the process of all the new items. If you already got items, you can add them through the computer if they're already in your inventory. So I'm going to go through and add all these, and then we'll go to the next step. So after you have everything scanned in, you're going to want to go to Amazon Seller Central, your login, and then go to inventory. And here you'll have all your inventory that you've scanned in over the course of your Amazon selling career. So what you're going to do is just check here, what you want to send in, the stuff you just recently scanned. And if there's anything you've already scanned in, it's like I have 2,196 things right now. So if there's something you've already sold in the past and you just want to send more in, you just go up here and you type in the search, the product name. You can type in the ISBN, the title, the SKU. Doesn't matter, whatever it takes to find the product, and you just check that as well. And you can see here action on 8 selected. So I'll show you how many things you have selected. And once you've selected everything, you're going to come here and you click right here where these 2 little arrows are. And then you're going to go to send replenish inventory. So here you're just going to put in how many units you have of each item you are sending in. So 1, 12, 2, 3, however many you're sending in. If you want to add products you may have forgotten, you can go to add products here, type it in, and add them from there. This action required right here, this will just tell you certain things, like if something needs polybagged or bubble wrapped, or maybe it'll let you know that it's a slow moving ASIN, or just something restricted and they're not going to allow you to send it in. But you shouldn't just go by this. You should go through and read everything you can about how things should be shipped to Amazon, because there's a lot of little rules like on what you should bubble wrap or polybag. Like if you was to send in a doll that had the front, open with a cardboard backing, but the doll was in it, you'd have to polybag that, because you can't have it exposed because they don't want dust and anything to get on it. So when you go to send that in, it might not tell you that here. You're just expected to know. So try to educate yourself on all the rules. You can just do a search through their help and try to find them all. It is kind of a pain to figure it all out, but that's just something you learn as you go. After you fill out all the units you're sending in, you just continue. So after clicking continue, you come to this screen, and this is just kind of an overview. It's asking you who preps. I've never had Amazon prep. I think it's like 10, maybe 20 cents per item for them to label and everything. I always do my own labels. It saves a ton of money. It's not hard to do. So yeah, I just click continue from here. And the next screen is similar to the last screen. Is that you can change from here who does the labeling, either merchant or Amazon. It's going to be me, so I'm going to leave everything the same. You can print all of your labels right here, or you can print them later on based on the shipment, and that's usually how I do it because it's easier to find the labels you're looking for. So here we are at the final screen before we approve the shipments. Now here's the annoying thing about Amazon FBA. You don't know where Amazon is going to send your product. Sometimes you'll be able to ship everything to one fulfillment center. Sometimes it's spread out like this. And here's a tip I can give you. If you're shipping longer items, like here I'm trying to ship lawnmower blades and faucets, like combo units, something long like that or bigger, they usually put them in another shipment. So if you only have one or two, they're going to, like here, they're going to put it in maybe this one going to Pennsylvania here. So you really want to try to have enough large things and small things, or you can just do the shipment like this. It just costs more in shipping doing it that way. So unfortunately, it's not been this bad for me in a while. Usually I just ship everything to one place and then the bigger stuff gets shipped. But this one's spread out. Looks like we have a California here, so that one's going to cost me a lot, even though it's 11 items. And 33, there's a good chance I'll cancel this one. I'm not sure what item's going out there, but it might not. I might just hold it, and then when you make another shipment you can add to it, or you can just scrap it and add it to the next one. And then this one's really good, 38 units, so I'll probably just be hopefully one box, 2 boxes, but we'll see from here. We'll go ahead and approve the shipments. So they have been approved. Now we can work on them. I usually start with the largest shipment first and work on that. That way, it takes away, it gives me more space as I work on other things. So on this screen, I always go to review and modify units. And I just come down here to print labels for this page, and there's 30 labels per page, so I'm going to need 2 sheets, and you kind of waste some labels in a sense if you print them out this way, but it is easier. And I always just, my next shipment, if I have to ship 24 or whatever, I'll just use that sheet and flip it around. So for me, this is how I prefer to do it. Do it however you want. But I'm going to print out my labels now. So I click on print labels for this page, and it will download a PDF, and I can just open it here and print them off. There you have it. Got some labels to put on some inventory. So basically what I do after that is I just go through, I look at the label, first label, I find the inventory, I assess it. Like here I have to remove labels. Has 2 Goodwill stickers. So I use my trusty Scotty peeler here, and I carefully go through and remove the best I can. And there's always going to be residue left, and then I use, let's see, this stuff right here is excellent. You just put this on a paper towel like this, and then you just wipe it, and that residue comes right off. And of course, if some boxes are generic, if the sticker just destroys the box, then maybe you have to cancel out that item because you don't want to send in something that looks like garbage. But I would say 99% of the time I get the sticker off and it looks, you know, still in perfect new condition. So you go through and then you peel your label and you stick it over the UPC. There can't be any UPC code showing, because when Amazon's scanning in this stuff, they want to do it fast and proficient, and they don't want to try to figure out where the UPC code. They're just going to find the first thing they see and they're going to scan it. So make sure you cover all the UPCs. They do say that in their terms and conditions or whatever it is. That's a rule. So if they got like multiple UPCs, you can just take a label that you didn't use, and you can cover it there. I usually take a label, cut it in half, and then cover it. And also a trick you can use, like say you peel this off and there's just a little bit of damage or something, you can put the Amazon label over that damage to try to, you know, make it look nicer, and then just cover the UPC code with a blank label. So after you do that to all your items, then you're going to put them in boxes. I now got everything labeled and put in a box here. This is a Home Depot box, a large one. It's 18 by 18 by 24. There is a bit of a surcharge on this larger box. You should never send in a box any larger than this unless you're just sending in one item. I tried to fit everything. I always try to fit everything in these medium boxes. They're 18 by 18 by 16. They're the best in my opinion. Unfortunately, it was just a little too much, and rather than send 2 boxes, I think it's cheaper just to send this one, the larger one in, and pay a little bit more on the surcharge. I really don't know how much it is. It never really seems to matter, honestly. It just depends where you're shipping it to. One thing you have to realize is you cannot ship a box to Amazon over 50 pounds, not even 1 ounce. I did have my account suspended, and I had to fill out a thing acknowledging and all this stuff before I could send anything else in, and it scared me to death because I had a box that was like 50 pounds, 2 ounces. I'm like, it won't matter, they won't care. They will care. So do not go over 50. I shoot for usually 45. That way there's a little bit of lee room in case it goes over 45 and you're not going to go over 50 as easily. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to Tetris all of your product in. You want as few spaces in between the products as possible. I use this stuff I get from Home Depot. It's the contractor paper. You can just kind of pack it in and make it so stuff don't move. You always want to try to make everything level, so when you get to the top, you see everything is kind of, you know, level, so you have this even amount of space. And then you can use a box cutter tool, and what you do is you adjust it. I'll show you here in a minute. And you just go around the sides, and it'll like cut it out a little bit, and you can just fold it over, and it's really nice and real easy. I used to do it the harder way by just like trying to cut it and fold it. It's just easier to invest in one of these tools and do it the right way, and you'll save yourself time and and a lot of stress. But yeah, just get this stuff packed in really tight. You don't have to use this. You could use bubble wrap or air cushions. I always use, you know, from other shipments or whatever I get, like returns or whatever, I use the void fill that comes in there to package these up. Sometimes though, you can't get everything even, and you need a ton of void fill, and it gets really annoying. And there's some things you can't use. You cannot use the styrofoam pellet things, the popcorn. That's a no-no. Amazon don't want you using that. You have to use either bubble wrap or air cushions or this. And there's been a debate about if you can use newspaper. Amazon doesn't say you can't, and I've contacted them and they've said you can, and other people's contacted them and they said they can't. So I would just try to avoid the newspaper unless you can get a confirmation. I have used newspaper and just as a test, and they did not complain. But I just go ahead and buy. This is $11 for a huge roll. It lasts forever. So just to be safe. Here is the box score tool. I got this, I think, for $12 on Amazon. I'll have links for all this stuff in the description if you're interested. But you can just adjust it. You find the highest point of your product here, measure it out, and you just drag it across, and it will score the box. And then you just, from that score, you just take a box cutter and just cut up, and it'll fold right over. Let me do it, and I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So you can see after I score it how easily these just come down. So you can just then tape it, and it's going to save space, and it's going to save you money and void fill. So definitely worth having one of these in my opinion. So it's taped up. What you're going to do now is you're going to have a scale, and you just put it on the scale, weigh it. This one's 38 pounds and some random ounces. Always round up, so I'm just going to round to 39 pounds. And then we're going to jump to the computer now and prepare the label and get into the rest of what you have to do. So here we are on the final screen for the final step. Just right here, small parcel delivery. You're almost always going to use that, especially if you're starting out. If you're watching this video, I don't assume you're sending an LTL shipment in. So small parcel delivery, and then UPS or FedEx. FedEx tends to be a little bit cheaper, but I don't think they're as good. I just stick with UPS, but you can do whatever you want. It's not too big of a difference. Never use my own carrier or anything like that. It'd just be too expensive. You come down here, you got shipment packing. Now, what you're going to do here is follow these instructions based on your shipment. Everything in one box, one SKU per box, more than one SKU per box, total 15 boxes or less, etc. So since it's just one box going out to the shipment, I'm just going to put everything in one box. So here's all your shipment contents, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Sometimes, usually from what I can tell, if it's over 100 items, it'll ask you to download an Excel sheet and do it on there instead of right here on the web. Like I said, it's random. I don't know any rhyme or reason to it, but if that pops up, basically you're just going to follow the instructions, download the Excel sheet, fill out the Excel sheet, re-upload the Excel sheet, and it's basically the same as this. So here's everything. If you have multiple boxes, there'll be multiple options. You have to tell which box you're putting each item in. So you need to keep track of when you're boxing stuff, either in your mind, or if you have a big shipment, I find that just having a little notepad and writing it down as I put it in, because it sucks to have to go back and unload everything if you forget. So just make sure you're doing this correctly, because they will call you out on it. So since it's just one box, it says box weight here, it's 39 pounds. Box dimensions, it's 18 by 18, usually 24, but since I shaved off a few inches, it's going to be about 20. Actually, I think it was 19. So there, you see, since I shaved it off, it doesn't hit that surcharge. So that's good. And then you're just going to scroll down. Oh yes, expiration dates. If your product expires, first of all, if you're sending something in, it has to be within 90 days of the expiration date, because they'll just send it right back to you. So here you have this first alert, drinking water test that I'm sending in. It takes an expiration label, so I printed those out. It needs to be, basically I'll just take a picture of it and show you. I have it in the corner here, what it needs to look like. Some people say you can just write it in marker and put it on there. I think you should print it out. You can just print it out on the label sheets as well. It just looks nicer. So let me just fill in here. Expires. Actually, mine expired in October, so I don't think I can send them in. I guess October is getting pretty close, isn't it? What is July, September? Oh, yeah. So yeah, 23rd is the minimum, and mine's just expires in October 2018. So I'm going to have to pull those out of my shipment, and you can go up to the top and look at your items and remove it. So I'm going to have to remove that. So it's a good thing I caught that. I'm just not thinking clearly. I'll just have to sell those on eBay. So I went up here to review and modify units and remove those water test kits. So everything is now correct. Nothing else with expiration date. This is going to take my box weight down a little bit. Those things were really light, so there's no point in weighing it. So I'm just going to go back in there and remove those and then retape it up. But you're just going to hit confirm here, and then down here where it says calculate, you're going to calculate the shipping. So it's going to cost $8.89 to ship this box. So you just agree to it, accept charges, and you have 23 hours 59 minutes left if you want to avoid shipping. So basically that's just telling you if for some reason you're not going to ship the item, you have 23 hours and 59 minutes until you cannot cancel and get your money back. So I've never had an issue where I needed to void a label, but I'm sure it happens. And you come down here and you're going to print box labels. You just hit the button here. It's going to download the PDF. Then you print the PDF. You can print it on paper and cut it out and tape it. Just try not to tape over the actual barcodes because they don't like that. I always use the actual sticky back labels, the 2-sheet ones with the half cut, and I love those. They save so much time and effort than just worrying about taping that stuff. Again, invest in those. You can get them free for UPS if you start an account. I'm not sure how to do that because I've never done that, but that's what everyone tells me. I usually just buy them in bulk on Amazon. They're like $10, and it's a tax write-off anyway, so plus they're really good quality. One day I'll figure out exactly how to get them free from UPS. So now you're done. You're just going to complete shipment here, and I'll ask you if you want to work on another one. We have, what, 3 more to do, so I'll just go through and do the exact same thing. They're being shipped out to different places, and that's it. Just print your labels and put them. There'll be 2 labels per box, one for UPS, one for FBA, and you just put them on the box and drop it off at UPS. Just to wrap things up, I want to give you some useful tips if you're just starting out doing FBA. First of all, I want you to know that this is my way to do FBA. There are other ways that may be easier for you depending on how much you sell and what you're selling. You can use things like Inventory Lab, UPC scanners, and there's different apps you can use to replace Amazon Seller App. I said earlier in the video that Amazon Seller App is absolutely necessary. What I mean by that is you need some sort of app to scan, check prices and everything. I find Amazon Seller App to be the best because it's made by Amazon. You can see all the restrictions and everything. You get the most reliable data in that sense. Make sure you read through all the rules. All the information is in Seller Central, and you can Google search everything, and usually it'll just take you there. Educate yourself. When to use polybags, bubble wrap, and do not ship over 50 pounds, etc. There's all these little rules you want to make sure you're aware of, because if you're selling enough, you will come across them. And Amazon expects you to know them. When you agree to sign up, you agree to basically knowing all that. Try to get at least 50 or more items per shipment to save money and make it worthwhile. I say this because if you're just, getting 5 or 10 items and shipping them in, and they're sending them to 2 or 3 places, then your shipping is going to just destroy your profit, and it's not really worth it. When you do FBA, you want to kind of be ready to scale up and start selling a lot of items. You want to be sure you're sourcing a lot to keep it going, because it's basically an engine, and you just have to keep on feeding it. I said this before, try and send in larger, longer, and odd-shaped items together. They're more likely to go to the same fulfillment center. This is something I started doing more recently. Some people may just want to get things sent in. I have the luxury of being able to wait and be like, oh, I got like 10 long items. I'll probably all go in one box. and I'll start a shipment, and usually they all go to the same fulfillment center. It's not a guarantee, but it does help. Something you may need to be aware of is I use Home Depot moving boxes. Usually, if I have other boxes or need to use smaller boxes, sometimes I use Walmart or something. But UPS may look down on this. They don't like you to use moving boxes. They want you to use shipping boxes. But if you buy like actual shipping boxes from UPS, they charge like $12 a box. I'm not even kidding. It's ridiculous. And I've never had an issue using moving boxes. I know I've been talking to the owner of the UPS store where I go to, and she mentioned that she would do the same thing. That she would not, like, it is something that they want you to use moving boxes, but they don't enforce it. So just in case you get that, the hard guy at UPS, a stickler on the rules, just be aware that you may eventually have to buy actual shipping boxes. You can probably just do that online through like Uline or something. Also make sure all your UPC and scan codes are covered on these boxes, so UPS or Amazon isn't scanning the wrong code. Try and scale up fast to be a professional seller. Sell more than 40 items per month. What I mean by this is you can either do FBA as a normal seller, or you can be a professional seller. Professional seller costs you $40 a month. And if you don't have professional seller, then they charge you $1 per item extra in fees. So basically, if you're selling more than 40 items per month, then you definitely need to be a professional seller because you're losing out on money. And I sell between 200 and 400 or more, just depending on the season, per month. So I would be paying $200 to $400 a month in extra fees if I wasn't a professional seller and paying that $40 a month. So if you're doing FBA, like I said earlier, just need to be throwing stuff into it. You need to be more dedicated than if you're just doing like casual eBay or casual Amazon merchant selling. But that's going to do it on how I send things into Amazon. I hope you learned something. If you're new to all this, I hope you kind of get an idea of how it works. It's not difficult. Once you do it a couple times, it always gets easier. And Amazon does change. They're changing all the time, so I don't know how long it will be for some of this is irrelevant. So always check the rules, read through them, and make sure everything is still the same on what I'm saying. And I don't claim to know everything. I may have made some mistakes in what I'm saying, but this is what I've been doing now for going into maybe 5 years now. But I'm going to have a bunch of links in the description of stuff I've talked about, stuff I'm using. You can go to my Amazon influencer page. I'll have all the stuff I use there. But if you enjoyed the video and you're going to get something out of it, please hit that like button for me. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I always try to answer comment questions. As the channel grows, there are a lot of comments I know I miss, so definitely don't take it personal if I don't answer a comment. I know in the past some people have kind of called me out, and it's like, I didn't see it, But yeah, just be a cool person, leave a comment, and hit that like button for me, subscribe, and just thank you again. Thanks for watching.